You're listening to the Things of That Nature podcast. Coming to you from a city that never sleeps is me, your host, Rockshana. I invite you to join me in truly honest, passionate, and fun talks that motivate, invigorate, and maybe inspire. Even though we're no longer in the mile high, the sky is still the limit. Everything and anything goes. So let's start talking about things of that nature. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this episode of the Things of That Nature podcast. My name is Rockshana, and today's guest, today's new friend, I'm excited for. It's going to be fun. My ladies specifically, gents as well, but I mean, ladies, this one's going to be a fun one. Today, I have Brandi Biviens, and I'm not even going to tell you what she does. We're just going to talk about it. So hi, Brandi, how are you?
Hi, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming on. I'm excited to see what we talk about. I mean, I know what we're going to talk about, but I'm excited.
I'm excited as well.
Perfect. Love hearing that. And so first, Brandi, what part of the globe are you in? Have you always lived there?
Well, currently I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. I've been here for about 21 years, but I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, was the move your choice?
Yes, it was definitely my choice. I wanted a change of pace. I always knew that I wanted to leave my hometown, upon graduation and getting myself ready for a career. I always knew I wanted to be in a bigger city, so I chose Atlanta.
Was it a good choice?
It was. I can definitely say it was the best move. I definitely prayed on it. It was between Atlanta and California. I definitely prayed on it, and Atlanta has opened doors for me that I don't think would have been open had I stayed in Richmond.
Oh, okay. So a choice you made and you like it.
Love it.
Now, Brandi, you have a business that I adore. Like, I'm gonna just let you go ahead and talk about it. Go ahead and talk about your business.
Okay, so I have I have several businesses, but the one that I truly, truly adore is called Honeybee's Natural Hair Care, and it is basically it's hair care for. It's a hair care line, I'm sorry, that was formulated specifically for textured, kinky, curly, and coily hair.
Mm-hmm. You heard that, y'all? Kinky, coily, textured. So your 4 C's, your 4 A's, your 4 B's, where you at?
Yes, definitely my 4 C's, because I'm a 4C myself, and that's how the business was built.
The struggle's real. I'm one as well.
Yes, that is actually how the business came to fruition, because the struggle is real.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. How did the name come about?
So the name came about, well, let me back up for a second. So basically, I have 2 more businesses. So one is called Be Bougie Home Collection, which offers candles, bubble bath, hand soaps, basically anything that's fragrant in your home. And I also own another company called the Hair Plug, which offers hair extensions. And all of my businesses were built based from a feeling of not belonging. And rather it was because of my hair type, which we've already talked about as a 4C, or it was my skin color. But all of them were built on negatives that I turned into positive money makers. And so Honeybee's name came to fruition because I was kind of, I come from a family, my mother's side of my family is darker skin, and I came out lighter. So my father is lighter, is light skinned or was light skinned. And so I'm like a brown color. So I was made fun of a lot, or called red or bright skin, because of my color. And I always try to counter and say, no, I'm like honey. It's more like I'm not light skinned, I'm more brown skinned. So I constantly was defending myself to family members because I was the different one. And honeybees the name came from me trying to state that I was not light skinned, that I was brown skinned, which I used to refer to as the color of honey. And my name is Brandi, so the honeybee. Get it? Honeybees.
Okay.
So again, a negative turning it into a positive.
Which is beautiful, because if only so many people turn their negatives into positives and actually doing it rather than just saying it, it'd be great.
Absolutely. It's coming from family and like my mom friends, when they were referred to me, I was always referred to as like the red one or the light one. When they referred to me from the rest of my siblings, they would call me that one. And it bothered me because it made me different. And not only was I different from that perspective, I was also different because I was the only one with 4C hair. And so everything that people described me as or referred to me as, it was different from a lot my siblings and my other family members, and it made me feel some kind of way. And so when people used to say it as a kid, especially when you hit that awkward age, whether whether it's true or not, it makes you kind of feel awkward. And so I always said that one day they would see. And so hence I turned it, into a positive thing.
Mm-hmm. And now Be Bougie.
Yes.
That's the newest company. Am I correct?
That's correct. That is my newest baby that I've created. And it's the name Be Bougie. Again, my name is Brandi. So the bougie is because growing up, I was called bougie a lot, even from high school through college, through even till today. If I pull up to the family reunion or I'm around certain of my friends, it's like, you are so bougie. And I've never really thought of that as being negative. Like, I really never cared. I always knew I liked different stuff. I always knew, or my standards were always a little bit high, and it never really bothered me about the word bougie. But I thought, well, that's another, connotation I have, and I'm going to name the company off of it. So it offers candles, highly fragrant candles, and a bubble bath, everything that I love about being a woman. So, I like to come home from hard day, light a candle, and instantly, to me, it changes like the ambiance of the room. And or get in a bathtub and just soak away all my issues or my stress. And so everything that I love to do encompasses Be Bougie home collection. It's just highly fragrant bubble baths, candles, hand soaps. It just encompasses everything about me.
Okay, it is you.
It's me.
Okay.
Good and the bad.
And if you're saying that bubble bath's too long, you're gonna start, your fingers start looking crazy.
Right, hair too.
Sure is. Do you have a background in cosmetology or anything of that sort, or did these ideas just happen to work?
I have no background in cosmetology. It just came about. Like I said, my businesses are all about the things that I like, and hair. I love hair. I absolutely love hair, even down to the hair extensions is mainly what I wore because I was ashamed, or I was ashamed, and I didn't know how to care for my hair. I didn't know how to style it. My mother, she couldn't teach me because she didn't have 4C hair. So she taught me what she does to her hair or my sister's hair, but their products didn't work on me. So the hair extensions became, back when I was a teenager, I wore the French rolls and all the great styles then. Having thick hair came in handy then because it made my French roll bigger or made my finger waves thicker. But then as time goes on, you have to maintain your hair. And I wasn't taught the proper way that I know now. So it made me not understand and not treat my hair correctly, which made it, in a sense, worse. And I turned to hair weave because it was easier to style, easier to maintain. And so all of my business are truly, truly me, even down to the hair extensions.
Okay. Now, were there any struggles when you were starting each of these businesses, each of these branches of yourself, because you don't have that background?
Absolutely. It was. The first one started was the hair club, the hair plug. I'm sorry. That was the first one. And that one was a lot easier. Because I knew hair extensions. I had been wearing them since I was about 16. I knew everything about it. The job that I was working for, which was a Fortune 500 company, they sent me to, I had a team in India and I had to go over there to meet my team. And they sent me to India. And one of my employees, they took me to like what would be considered their downtown. And I came across the hair vendors, the hair vendors, and I went in there and I was just amazed. I watched them, I learned, and that's how it came about. I actually brought hair while I was there and brought it back to America and tested it out and loved it. When I wore it, even my stylist was asking me for like, where did you get this from? It was really, really good hair. And so from there, I just, so many people was asking me about it. I decided to sell it. Sales went great. I turned it into a website and then a store in Hampton, Virginia. And it just started to grow. So I really didn't even have funding for that. I started it with my own money. I cashed in some of my stock and borrowed from my 401k, opened up the stores, and it went from there. It was just that easy. Now, the hair care line, Honeybees, was much harder. I had to find, my niece went to school. She actually went to Norfolk State University, shout out to the HBCUs, and she, for chemistry. And so I was telling her my problems and she was kind of like telling me some things, and we started putting together my hair care line. At that time, I didn't know it. I thought it was just to help me with my hair and help my daughters with their hair. And actually, it grew into my hair care line. So she works for a company that she could not, she signed a no competition clause. So she basically couldn't help me anymore once we figured that out. So we had to basically find me another chemist that could help me out. So that is very expensive within itself, having a chemist, having them to formulate your products. And then once you pay them, they'll only give you a few samples. So maybe your money, your $10,000 were only worth 3 samples and you don't like any of them. So you have to start all over again. And that's very, very expensive. And I basically paid for it or funded it from my hair extension company. And it started to drain that. And so we were coming up with these formulas that I didn't like. It's not that I didn't like them, but they didn't work. Again, I have 4C hair. So what moisturizes the chemist's hair, which I think her hair was like a 3B, it wouldn't work on mine. I needed more moisture. And basically it comes down to money. They're like, hey, this is how much it'll cost you per bottle to have that formula just to moisturize 4C hair. You know, they basically will tell you that you need a product that caters to almost all the hair, you know, all textured hair, not just focused on 4C hair. But that wasn't my vision. That's not what I wanted to do. And so it almost bankrupted me coming up with the perfect formula to make sure that 4C hair was covered in our hair care line. So no, I came across a lot of hard issues, as well as I've interviewed or had some business meetings with some big retailers who basically didn't